Yeah, I moved to Douglas County in 1981. I've been homeless now for 5 years. The 19th of this month was 5 years. Well, there's been a number of starts and restarts with UCAN and other agencies. But it just seems like a follow through, the idea that the agencies themselves don't continue to try and progress for helping with housing. A year ago, last January, the city came. I was living under the bridge over here at Stewart Park across the river, and the city came and put notices that they were going to come and do whatever. So I packed up all my stuff, rolled it up, put it into a nice, neat thing, and took it away from there, off onto what I thought was private property. But they came and took it off of there anyway. Then I got legal aid to help me, and they started a lawsuit, initiated a lawsuit, and we got a settlement out of the issue. Come after us. Started about 2 years ago. They started ramping things up, trying to make it more of a legal issue than anything else, and especially the camping, because they would give us a ticket for camping. Then we had the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals rule that that the Eighth Amendment was being violated with that. So they still kept giving us tickets for illegal camping, adding littering within 100 feet of a waterway, which brings it back to a misdemeanor, and we kept it in a criminal stance, because what it appears they're trying to do is make sure that there's a criminality to whatever we're doing. I have 11 different cases, and I have in excess of probably 5, 6 of the littering charges. That's a standard one if you're within a waterway. Yeah, a little less than a year ago, when right after when the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals came up with that ruling, that's when they started attacking on the littering. Well, everybody gets in their car and they run around and they go do whatever. Well, guess what? We all look outside the windows of our cars and we can all see the homeless. You can't miss us. And if you start if everybody starts treating us as though that we're not, some broken second-hand citizen, maybe we'll start thinking better of ourselves, because right now we don't participate in much of anything. We try to stay away from everything simply because we're shunned. And shunning is a really bad thing that happens in societies, and it's not good for people. And you start asking them, well, what's your biggest concern? Yeah, you're going to hear some weird stuff probably, but you're also going to hear some really salient stuff that's going to get through to you, and you're going to start seeing that there is answers. And addressing your elected officials, as people that were elected to run the cities and things of that nature. Basically just continuing to talk to them and continuing to always keep dialogue going to them, saying that this is wrong. Well, you get yourself a little checklist, and after talking to a couple of them, making friends with a couple of them, whatever, you begin to know what to talk about. And then you go to the city council and you start talking to them and saying, look, this is what I know. This is what I know to be true. This is, people, that statement, just this is what I know to be true, is a very powerful statement that anybody can make once they know something. The information is always there. We just got to not look past it anymore. Love is a very, very important and very powerful thing, and it's the most important and powerful thing in a person's life. And there's a lot of people walking around out here that they don't feel that from anybody. They don't see it from anybody, and they feel like that they're the problem, or they feel like everybody looks at them as though they're the problem, and therefore that's why we get a lot of destructive things happening, and stuff like that. And if we just start reaching out to people, that's the biggest point.